special cases. This is something again we should be aware of. There's some, so again we just can't go and start washing the dead body. We should ask few things to few people. For example, first we said that we have gender restriction, but if you want to wash a child, can a man wash like a girl who's like maybe 4 or 5 years old? It is, scholars say it is okay. There's no gender issue here. Anybody can wash a child, but they say that should be not more than 7 years old. That's a restriction. And women, sometimes it happens to sisters. So what happens, like maybe a woman is traveling with his father, her father and brother. They go to a remote place, traveling, and this woman dies. And there's nobody to wash her. There's no woman to wash her. What should they do in such a situation? And the husband is also not there with her. How should she be washed? So the scholars say that in no circumstances can such a woman be washed, because her aura is protected. It cannot be made public. And they say that in this case she should be given a tayammum. You know tayammum, right? So just we wash her, wipe her face with hands and arms. That's it. That's tayammum. So that is one exception, that woman is not washed. And another exception is the issue when a person became shaheed. If you remember, last few sessions ago we mentioned many people who were shaheed, like person who dies with an abdominal disease is a shaheed, person who dies because of a collapse of a building is a shaheed. There are many categories of shaheed, but this shaheed actually refers to the person who died in a real battlefield while fighting in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These people should not be washed. In fact, if you see blood in their clothes, you're not even allowed to clean it up. Just bury as it is. Just bury as it is. And what if this shaheed, he had a major impurity? Like we have to take ghusl sometimes in certain situations. So if they had a major impurity and they didn't have time to take ghusl or shower, and they maybe fought in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then they became shaheed, what should they do? Should we give them a bath in this case? In this case, still, we don't give them bath. And this happened to who? Happened to Sayyidina Hamza and also Hanzala, brother said. Hanzala ibn al-Rahib. They both participated in the Battle of Uhud, and they were both in the state of Junub, and they became shaheed. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just like any other shaheed, he said that they should not be washed. And in fact, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that they were being washed by the angels. They were being washed by the angels. That was their status. And another thing that we also mentioned last time in the topic of shaheed was that we can't really say if a person reached the state of shahada or not, because it is just between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His intentions we don't know. Maybe he was just doing to show off or to be called as brave person. Should we still, we don't know, so we are not certain. So scholars say that regardless what the intention was, we should still treat him as a shaheed and still give him, still cannot give him the shower. And sometimes what happens, a body is seriously damaged. This can happen maybe because the body is burned, or it's crushed by a wall and it's like body is maybe disintegrated, or sometimes it happens in a very severe accident. Body is in a very bad shape. So it's really not possible to give a washing to such body. So what should we do in such situations? So the scholars say that if the body is seriously damaged, in that case it is enough if we just pour some water on it. Don't have to wash it or touch it, because if you touch it, it's possible that it will disintegrate more. So you should just wash it. And even if washing is a problem, you just do the same tayammum for him and just bury him just as it is. It's not like hard and fast you have to wash or something. No, there are exceptions. State of ihram. A person who went for hajj or for umrah dies in a state of ihram. There is a ruling, special ruling for that. He is required to be washed just like any other Muslim, but the special thing about him is that he should not be put any like perfume or the soap that we use, that anything that has smell, that should not be used for cleaning him. There should be no perfume. Just why? Because any person who is in a state of ihram is not allowed to be in that to use perfume. So we continue it even while he is in the state of being washed. And if a person commits major sins like suicide and any sin, there's no exception. We just consider him as a regular person regardless and still give him a wash. And sometimes what happens is that you're there and you're washing him, but there is not enough water. Maybe you're living in a place where there's not insufficient water. So scholars say that this is a valid exception. You just have to make tayammum in that case, and that is sufficient. Some people have gold tooth, and it's there. This issue is there in fiqh books. They say that if a person dies with a gold tooth, what should we do? Should we remove it from the dead body? If it is easy to remove, it should be removed. Scholars are very particular about this. They said that the wealth actually that we have, it is not ours to start with. It is not ours. It is Allah. He gave us the money, and we are a trustee. We have to take care of that money. And so if there is something like that, gold tooth, it has to be removed if it can be removed easily and distributed to the inheritors. This basically shows us that how Islam treats wasting money a very big thing. You can't just waste money like that. And Prophet Muhammad explicitly forbade wasting money because it belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we have to take care of that, even small things. It's just mentioned in fiqh books at this point. And sometimes we just can't run and give a wash. It's a lot of reward, I'll just go and wash the dead body. No, you have to ask certain questions. We have to ask. Generally, what happens if a person dies? We see that after maybe 1-2 days they open up their will or the testament or the inheritance document. But some people write it in their will that so and so person will give me this bathing or the washing. So we have to find that out if somebody was appointed or not. So if that is the person is there, then he gives the bath and so on. So